Well, good evening everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast update for you for this June the 10th, 2026. I'm hoping everybody had a great Wednesday out there so far, but it is a great Wednesday evening. So everybody continue to stay safe and well, and also enjoy the weather, because it's the only weather you got. Okay, in tonight's video, we're going to be taking a look at the storm system moving across the country, which is not that many. Also taking a look at a little tropical wave that could be something in the tropics down in the Bay of Campeche that may move into Mexico. Also got some more activity there as well. We'll discuss that also. Also, we're going to take a look at the local forecast for your Thursday and Friday, your current watch and warn advisory map, the severe weather for day 2, 3, and 4, and also take a look at the weather story across the Midlands of South Carolina and the central Savannah River area of Georgia, a little bit of southern North Carolina and eastern Georgia as well, for some high heat that maybe some high impact for heat illnesses across this local forecast area. So we'll show you that in tonight's video as well. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe. Also like these videos, share these videos, and let's continue to get the show on the road there, folks. Alright, we're going to start off with this little tropical wave here. It's starting to develop in the northwestern Caribbean. It could develop over here in the southern Bay of Campeche. Right now it has about 10 to 20% chance of development in that region, but it would move into Mexico. If the system do get, it will become Tropical Storm Arthur, but there will be no impacts to the U.S. Looks to become on impacts only to Mexico. We have a little storm named Christina right here off the coast of Central America. That's moving inland, and that's what's going to make it in to the southern Bay of Campeche with this tropical wave that could combine forces and maybe develop into something tropical. Scattered activity of South America. We got more tropical waves in the eastern Pacific. Got some activity across Mexico down towards the Central American coast. Got some activity in the tropical Atlantic. Got a little bit of activity from North Carolina into New Brunswick, St. John's, Maine, Ottawa, and Toronto, Canada. Got some strong storm moving across areas of Missouri up into Michigan, also Wisconsin, moving into Illinois, Indiana, and more activity across the portion of the North Dakota, back in the Montana region as well. But you can see pretty much where high pressure is in charge. You can see the southwestern and the southeastern U.S. as well. Pacific, you don't see no storm systems moving in that direction as well. So it looks like it's going to be fair weather with the heat continuing for a while. Alright, let's roll on into your local forecast now. Should roll out something like here across the board. This is for your Thursday. Alright, we got some severe weather from portions of Texas to Oklahoma to Missouri to Illinois, Indiana, Michigan to Iowa, also Wisconsin. And then again for eastern Tennessee, North Carolina to areas of Vermont, New Hampshire, New York State, Pennsylvania. Flat-footing and heavy rain from portions of Iowa to Wisconsin and Michigan to Indiana, Illinois. Mixed precipitation over here in Wyoming. Then we got thunderstorms and showers right along the Canadian-U.S. border, stretching into Montana to the Dakotas, Minnesota, Lake Huron, Lake Superior over to Michigan, to Delaware, to the Carolinas, Florida, Florida Keys, to Texas, back into Arizona, to Kansas, to areas of Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee regions as well. Otherwise, expect your high pressure to remain in charge of your local forecast area for your Thursday. Alright, let's move on into your Friday forecast now. And you can see the cold front, warm front, low pressure system, and high pressure system as well across the area. Alright, we got severe weather stretching from portions of eastern Kentucky, North Carolina, all the way up to areas of Washington, D.C., up to Vermont, New Hampshire, and New York State. Then we got thunderstorms and showers elsewhere from the Canadian-U.S. border through Montana to the Dakota, to Nebraska, to Arizona, New Mexico, to Texas, to Missouri, to Louisiana, Florida, Florida Keys, the Carolinas, to Maine, New Brunswick, over here toward Lake Superior, Lake Huron, also over to Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Iowa, also through Kentucky, Tennessee, and down toward Alabama and Georgia. Alright, otherwise, expect dry high pressure to remain in charge of your local forecast area for your Friday. Alright, let's roll on into your current watches warn advisory map for your location across the nation. Alright, and we got a lot to talk about in tonight's video. So, alright, we got some flash flood warning. No, not flash flood warning. We got some excessive heat warnings over here in northwestern Oregon State. Frost advisories in southern Oregon, northern California, and also in Nevada. We got red flag warnings and heat advisories in California. Wind advisories over here in portions of, and freeze warnings in the purple and blue. Frost advisory in Idaho. Special weather statements in Montana. Wind advisory in eastern Montana through South Dakota. Then we got more red flag warnings for Utah to Colorado to Nebraska, Wyoming, and also high wind watches and warnings, and also special weather statements there as well. We got some heat advisories, flash flood warnings in western Texas, the heat advisories of North Texas, Oklahoma, portions of Kansas, and the Mississippi, Louisiana. And then we got tornado watches and warnings from Kansas to Missouri to Iowa, and then got flash flood watches there in the green, and tornado warnings in the red, flash flood warnings in the burgundy, and flood warnings there in the green. Alright, we got a lot of severe thunderstorm watches and warnings stretching from Minnesota through Iowa to Wisconsin to Indiana, Illinois to Michigan. Heat advisory, special weather statements in Ohio, more special weather statements for portion of Indiana and Kentucky. Then we got more heat advisories in New York State, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York State, Eastern Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, down to Eastern Virginia. Special marine warnings over here along the Outer Banks, North Carolina, into west-eastern Virginia coastal areas. Small craft advisories up here in their areas of Long Island to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, Southern California to Oregon State, and a little bit around the southwestern areas of Alaska, Hawaii, and Chain Island looks good. Alright, let's roll on into the Storm Prediction Center outlook for day number 2. Alright, we have an enhanced risk from Hannibal up to Milwaukee, Chicago, you included, portion of North Texas to Oklahoma City to Green Bay to Indianapolis, slight risk there. Another slight risk from Charleston, West Virginia, stretching into Scranton, Pennsylvania, New York City, Washington, D.C., you're included. Then we just have a marginal risk from Central Texas up to southern to northern Michigan, over toward Albany, New York, down toward Virginia Beach. You can see the general thunderstorm from Raleigh down toward the Florida Keys, Houston over toward New Orleans, Fort Stockton up to Amarillo, then from Glasgow to Billings, far east of Duluth and Marquette, Michigan, and Omaha, Nebraska. Alright, tornado probability looks like this. Oh wow, here we go. We got 2% in the green, 5% in the brown, 15 in the yellow, and there's a significant tornado, EF3 or 4 or greater in that region. Damaging winds, wow. Here we go, red, 30%, 15, and then there's the 5% in the brown. But you can see where the significant severe weather from areas of Missouri to Michigan, and then again from Roanoke to New York City. Elsewhere, and then back down in North Texas. Golf ball to baseball, maybe even some higher, larger than that, grapefruit possible as well. In that area for large hail, damaging winds up to 100 miles an hour in some location. Alright, you can see 5 severe weather to be over 3 into areas of Illinois and stuff. Okay, now let's move on into areas day 3. And this is severe weather. You can see we have a marginal risk from Charlotte, North Carolina up to the portion of Maine. Slight risk stretching from Roanoke to Burlington, Vermont. And you can see general thunderstorms elsewhere across the board, from Buffalo, New York to Brownsville, Texas to Albuquerque, New Mexico, Great Falls, Montana, Spokane, Washington, Sioux Falls, Grand Forks, also so to Minneapolis, Pierre, you're included in that as well. Probability looks like this: 5, 15, and 30% across the Mid-Atlantic and the northeastern U.S. Alright, we have a 15% risk area for day number 4, from Omaha to Lincoln to Delmont to Kansas to Hannibal and Jefferson City. This is for day number 4. Alright, another story for the Midlands of South Carolina, Central Savannah River area of Georgia. And it rolls out like this here. Okay. And you can see we got major heat risk incoming Friday and Saturday, June 12th through 13th. What this means, this level of heat assessed affects everyone without effective cooling and or adequate hydration. Considers canceling outdoor activities during the heat of the day. Stay hydrated and stay in cool places possible. Wind major dangerous to anyone without proper hydration and adequate cooling. And you can see pretty much most of the South Carolina, portion of Georgia, North Carolina, and then the red for Friday and Saturday across the board. Alright, well, hope everybody enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe if you have not. Like the video, share the video. We'll catch you back in the next ones. Have a wonderful Wednesday evening, folks. Take care and also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got.